not a chair.
But you like being sit upon.
Congratulations.
Yes, that is.
See,
a
we can
personal
separate
achievement.
all people into 2 different categories: chair
or not chair.
And
and not
sitters?
chair.
What about stools?
Armchairs. Sofas. Okay. And what happened last time, gang?
We had a little talk with Jackson.
Yeah,
Jackson?
Jackson, Mr. Sir, and he told us some history about Spiria and the relationship with the Ravenmoors, and we were all like, this is mildly concerning. Like, it's just like, I mean, we knew it was straight up martial law, but hearing them be like, yeah, and this is a good thing, we got protection, we're like, Yeah. Apparently Jackson had, like, a divine revelation of sorts, because he was a protester, like, or like a insurgent of sorts, apparently, beforehand, but then was like, oh, wait, the Stormlord preaches good things, and also it's literally a death cult, because they want to, be free from the Rionish afterlife cycle of war, but that means dying. And, you know, I mean, in some ways I can respect that, but also,
Of course, I missed the death cult.
You did miss the death cult. Also, hi, welcome back.
Tragic.
Hi, Shay.
Yes,
Hi,
I've re-emerged.
Hi, Shay. It's so
Our
fun.
seeds averted.
Yeah,
Good.
we're good.
Resolve.
All right, continue. Let's continue.
Everything's good.
Yeah, so like we get to learn a little bit about this Children of Harmony suicide cult, saying that everything's great if you just die. So that's our raison d'etre. That's what we want to do. And there's like this whole ritual that we are basically building up for. Like we're all doing some cool things, like I don't know, dyeing cloth and building stuff. We didn't really
Picking
investigate
flowers.
It seems
Picking
like their
flowers.
primary commerce is like dye mongers or something.
Yes.
And there'll be like a feast. So like
There's a pun there.
they're all planning for a big
There
party
is.
to die in.
Yeah,
Do we know that they're planning to die?
No.
Yeah.
It's like they pick. It's not like everyone dies. Like
No.
that one
It-
people
it-
are
two
chosen.
people.
It's
It's like a
one or
lottery,
two
yeah.
people.
Yeah. The
There's like a
woman
thing.
that was chanting with her other female friends as they were putting piss on their wool. If you remember, was saying that there was like a bowl full of packages that had flowers inside, and if you get the white flower, then you're chosen.
And you're chosen, and you get the blessing of the Stormlord, which is getting struck by lightning and most likely dying.
I'm not entirely certain that it's going to be lightning, but something will kill you in the expectation that you get severed and have true death.
And they
Not-
kind of gave a bit more insight to the ideas, beliefs of the Ravenmoors, and how their following of the Stormlord, this idea of this whatever is that if reincarnation is possible, then nothing matters, so you should just take. So that's their take on it. It's a bit nihilistic in a different way. Whereas these people are like, why bother exist?
Oh.
Bit of the information, the two sides are following the same guy.
And like y'all did suicide stuff without me.
Oh, it was just
No,
like
it's
that
not
was at
happened
the
yet.
end.
You're in time
We
for the
haven't done it
suicide
yet.
to happen.
We've only just
Okay.
learned this,
Yeah.
basically. Before that happened, basically, I think Tia and Acheron were playing chemistry sets, talking about like how alchemy is done this way, and there's like comparing, cupcake recipes. And Jennifer and Aaron are like, that's kind of a bit boring. We don't want to play around with plants. So we split the party in that regard because we wanted to like do some investigation about what is the true intention of this town of but not. So then we had a little conversation. Ginevra and Aaron had a conversation about basically gods. And,
Yeah.
Aaron,
One's like, the gods are made by the people that believe in them, so, you don't owe them anything, or they can. It's bad. And everyone's like, that sounds great, because then it's symbiotic, and then they can do things that we individuals can't do by our collective belief. Kind of just saying the different sides about the idea of introducing gods in, or following, believing in, and I guess doing acts of service for different gods.
basically turning worship into a power. And then Aaron reveals that to Ginevra that he plans to mitigate the damage the gods did the last time, as it seems to be history repeating itself with the gods returning. So we did a little bit of walking around. And there was a bit more talk about names.
And it was raining.
It was raining.
The rain is
Like
important.
actually raining, or was it like metaphorically raining?
How is it?
I think
was
it's actually raining.
Actually raining, and that's
Is
why
it-
we couldn't pick up any.
Adrian, it's raining has been a running gag and metaphor for things since like session 5.
No, I know this, but it's actually raining. So yeah, we didn't find anything right away, but we did get approached by a woman with fine clothes and clearly from the Stormish.
Yes, Stormholmish, who we had learned from Jackson, they weren't welcome to the big ceremony because they've been disturbing the peace for the last month, and we found out that's because they want to take away their miracle maker, and seeing Tia be able to stay with him for such an extended period, they were wondering whether Tia was able to do such things and whether Tia would be interested in joining them and working for them. That was what we learned from that. That we would pass on the message because they might end up being good allies at this point. Their options at least.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then something happened that made Lynn say, what was it? True fear.
True fear.
Yeah, at the end of last episode, after we ended.
Oh, yeah,
Lynn
the
said,
arrival of the Blackbird.
Yeah, real fear.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
One of the Blackbirds is coming to oversee their holiday, where somebody's gonna die.
There's
Ah.
the side.
Rip. I mean, that's not our problem now.
Yeah, I
It is
think
our
they're
problem, but
running
it's
away.
not.
Speaking of which, thank you so much for that. Let's continue the game. That is better. I haven't noticed any clip in and outs recently. So good job. Okay, well, among the bubbling liquids, the sharp tone of flames meant to quickly heat, the clatter of delicate instruments, the scraping of mineral and biomass alike, and the chatter of two alchemists comparing notes, Acheron finds themselves a bit out of their element, but happy in the end to see Titania so invested. But all of these instruments bring up other memories in tumultuous nature. As you slowly grind down a batch of pearls into a fine dust for the two distracted alchemists, you sink deep into yourself to think about what coincidences and what choices has brought you here into this musty and acrid cellar with enemies and potential enemies on all sides. Then the sounds of footsteps echoing against stone. Past the one and only entrance of this space lifts you up from the lulls of your own mind. Several footsteps, but not many. Some heavy, with a certain rustle to it. Metal. Is it Aaron coming back? Akron has the time to think to themselves before the door opens. But when it does, they realize that they are quite wrong.
Insert non-copyrighted, the one shark theme with the dun-duns in it. Stepping
Insert
into
copyright-free jaw.
Stepping into the room
Oh,
first
spooky.
is a man dressed in a tattered grey cloak, covering sturdy black traveling clothes below. He walks in with a staff made out of black iron, thin and smooth at first, but then broadens into a zigzag pattern at the top. Around his eyes there are faint blue tattoos in the shapes of lightning bolts. Behind him steps two tall figures covered in dark green, oily raincoats, but the dark armor beneath is betrayed by the general bulk and shape of the coats, the sound they make as they move, and the metallic shine of their helmets peeking out underneath their hoods. With a flick of a wrist and a muttered word, the foremost man's eyes and tattoo lit up in a bright blue as he takes in the three inhabitants of this room. He pauses at Acheron's muscles and scars, the books opened by Giannis and Titania, and how they seem to be locked into a conversation before he arrived. Am I disturbing something? He says with a certain whispering tone.
Akron will just look at him and blank and say, yes.
How unfortunate. I apologize. And who can you two be? Where do you come from?
Far away.
Obviously. But can you narrow it down?
Should I?
It is not wise to lie to a bird of the Stormlord.
I mean, I didn't think birds talked.
We squeak and squawk. Quite viciously if we have to.
We are no enemies. That should be satisfactory enough.
Maybe, maybe not. If you speak more about the truth, I'm sure I'll be able to serve you better.
So, if I make assumptions, I can assume that they're from... I can assume that they're the, Ravenmore, like, army people, yeah?
Well, you've
Framework's
heard
so good.
Priest Daniel's report of Universe Drift talked about women that had like some kind of dark tattoo underneath their eyes that made it look like tears or like lightning. And then you fought the lady with the same thing going on. And he kind of has the same thing, but he's slightly fancier because he's like added like blue dye into his.
Yeah.
Maybe he likes to be special.
We're refugees running from a different tyrant's land. This is just sort of where we happen to be at the moment. I didn't think your kind came in anything other than women, to be honest. Forgive me for not recognizing you sooner.
Yes, well, Countess Larissa has her likes, but I was talented enough to bypass those.
Gives us something in common, to some degree.
So if you're fleeing a tyrant... Janice, have you found yourself a like-minded friend over there?
Oh, excuse me, sir. I didn't notice you come in. Britannia, like, rewinds in her mind listening to what Acheron just said. It's like, oh, okay, that's our story.
I don't know.
Miracle Brewing isn't exactly smiled upon when you're doing it outside the jurisdiction of the church, so we had to flee.
Ah. I see. Well, if you ever find yourself in need of protection, then all you need to do is travel to the gates of Alderhold and claim to be a miracle brewer, and I'm sure that you will be situated right away. After
Studies.
test of your talents, of course.
It's that easy.
It is, really.
Seems like it should be harder than that.
Not really. Depends upon how useful you are. And miracle brewing, it's very useful indeed.
I'll keep it in mind. Alderhold is a little bit further from the mountains, so maybe it's a good place to go.
Less
She
than
won't need to get spooky eyes, will she? It's like, it's interesting, but I'm not sure if it's her aesthetic.
What would you say if I liked it?
I mean, I like the spooky eyes. It's
Good.
very...
I do too.
Cut.
Alderhold is less than a day away, and be careful, even in these lands, for unaffiliated heretics. There are dangers lurking around.
Really, they don't have much power, though. What we heard is that most of the attempts from the church we flee from have been very easily thwarted. That's why we came here.
Things may be more complicated than it first seems on the surface, as it usually is when it comes to thrones and politics.
And war, I'm guessing.
That too. Well, you have your invitation. I'm sure that Janice here would be quite thankful to have somebody else, another miracle brewer, working for us. We have been asking him a lot out of him recently, haven't we, Janice? Janice during this whole conversation has seemed pretty uncomfortable. He has leaned away in his chair, put his posture in a very protected one by crossing his arms, and have been staring at this black bird with a very intense stare, and there's only a tense nod in response.
Thank you.
I'll keep it in mind.
Then please, strangers, take your leave. I have a few words in private with Miracle Brewer Janice.
Titania will make eye contact with Giannis, trying to give him like a "Is this okay and safe to do? Or are we good to leave?"
Question the bird.
He tries to push your book towards you in a more like subtle manner, and then gives you like a serious nod.
Titania will just begin packing up her things and like her alchemist kit and just like
He's like pushing it in there. Yeah.
get the backpack just all full.
Just like urge as possible, like holding it and you scuttle away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, one last thing. Should we expect you for the feast tonight?
I think we might. It's how many hours of daylight actually do we have left?
By now it's like late afternoon. Like it's like 4 in the afternoon, 4 or 5 in the afternoon. So like approaching sunset.
Perhaps I'll need to talk to the rest of our group before we make any firm decisions about what we're doing tonight. We might continue making our way, or just find shelter.
There's more.
Akron kind of gives Titania a half glare. It's kind of the "damn it, Titania" look.
Should we expect many new guests tonight?
No, unlikely. Our friends are very boring and very lame and incredibly grumpy past sundown. One of them never smiles. I don't think I've ever seen him crack a joke once. Quite a terse, upset fellow.
Yeah,
I think I should.
I don't know how much
be the
energy we all
judge of
have for
that.
feasting.
That's a shame.
The other one's not bite trained, so we don't typically introduce her to people. She's quite feral.
Whatever you decide. Safe travels, strangers.
You too.
Did you just say not bite train?
Absolutely. And I can give a polite little bow and take Titania out the room.
Okay, in another area.
Titania just swears under her breath and like and totally face palms as soon as it's just the two of them because she realized, oh, I fucked up terribly with that conversation.
Oh.
We go.
In another area of Savoie village, I just need to set up the right tune. Oh my god, where is my thunder? Give me some thunder. There we are. Oh god, there's a lot of thunder. Calm down. Ari Ginevra, you leave the outskirts of Savoie village behind to quickly make your way towards the dye works. Worried about the entrance of the Blackbird and anxious to talk with Titania and Akron on the question of what to do next. The children of Harmony seem to be walking with you towards the center of the town, an excited chat in the air, and a few of them are even singing a ditty with each other. In a distraction of movement, something impacts you just as you round a corner. After the brief confusion abates, you look upon a woman dressed in the robes of Children of Harmony, who has a clear blush on her cheeks. Oh no, I am so sorry. All the harmony given to you, stranger. And she reaches in.
Wait, I want to check if she's stolen something from me. If anyone ever bangs into me, I'm always assuming that they're trying to steal something from me.
Okay. Make me an investigation check for yourself.
Or like, can I do like an empathy thing to see if she's like making it up and she's just banged into me to take something?
Sure.
Make me an
empathy composure.
Okay.
There seems to be something that she wants out of you. And maybe she's overplaying this whole being sorry about bumping into you. And
Okay.
she reaches in to give you a big hug.
Okay. I'll accept it.
She hugs you tightly, kind of grabs onto you, and in your ear you hear a very faint whisper. I might be wrong, but I don't really want to be. You have an aura, miss. I think I know what it is. Please, if you're able to help, seek the signs of dawn. And you feel something being thrust into your hand, and she kind of lets go of the hand, and you steps back. I hope to see you around more. I'm sorry, I gotta go. And she turns and like disappears in the crowd with the rest of the children.
Did she say seek the signs of dawn?
Yeah, seek the signs of dawn.
Okay.
And
Okay.
she shouts in excitement about the blackbird, and then she disappears in the crowd.
Is it a common thing to have strangers embrace you, Ginevra?
It was back over the mountain, but I wouldn't imagine here. And I'll look around and have my voice low, come close, and just whisper what she's told me. I don't know what it means, but I think she's referring to... And then I'll kind of tap where my symbol, my tattoo of the priesthood would be.
Are you suggesting that there are members of the church here?
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Are you suggesting there are members of the church here?
There were. Maybe some still remain.
What is your intention now?
To find allies wherever they can be found.
And is that the church still?
Over this side, yeah. Maybe. Not back there. I'm pretty sure the church are no longer going to be an ally of mine back over the mountains, but here they could be.
Interesting. I wouldn't necessarily consider it an option. At least in my experience, to rely on a group of people that you so obviously refuted. Maybe it's just me. Maybe that's what happens here. People are okay with being backstabbed.
I think that we're probably in a much better position than they are. So if anyone's going to be doing the backstabbing, it'll be us.
Speaking of backstabbing, we need to get to Tia and to Acheron.
Yeah.
If there are blackbirds coming, we gotta make ourselves...
Scarce.
That's the word.
Oh. Okay. And I will try to think on how to seek signs. I guess I will be looking out for things that would fit within the signs of the dawn. I guess drawings.
But as I also
words?
said, like you felt something being put into your
Oh yes,
hand.
I have something in my hand. Yeah,
Yes.
what was in my hand? Sorry.
It's like a crumpled up like piece of parchment.
Okay. I'll look at it discreetly.
Yeah, okay. Squeaky, okay. Most of them are focusing on the directions anyway, and you unveil the parchment to see absolutely nothing.
Right. Okay. My intelligence isn't very high. I need a black light, someone. So give me some black light.
Didn't
Okay.
Magic
Ginevra
word.
is told...
Turn it around.
Alright.
Is it on the back?
Sorry, I can only use my blacklight abilities at 3 p.m. On whatever the Frostmark equivalent of a Tuesday is. So
When Mercury's in retrograde.
yeah, right.
Did Ginevra actually... She mentioned what she was just told, right? To Aaron?
Yeah.
Okay, gonna like quickly drag Ginevra, like she's like looking over and back this parchment into like an alleyway, really briefly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just like under an underhang. Like, it's like dripping.
Yeah, for sure. And, like leaning up
just,
against like the stone
Quickly,
wall,
like
a
I grab
little hut.
her wrists that are holding this
This is the
parchment.
time.
And get in the vapors. Like
Unhand me, sir.
so I hold her wrist up, holding the paper like in front of like his face, and then he's gonna like with one finger put it close to the other side of the paper and cast light on his finger to generate a light on the back side of the paper to see if there's anything that light, the dawn, brings up of like maybe there's some imprinted text in the paper if there's a light behind it.
Oh, okay. For the second time, like you pull
This is
in
when
the
you find out I can't read.
What's the one meme? This sign won't stop me because I can't read.
Yeah.
Anyway, you do see that the paper has been impregnated with some kind of liquid, but it's suffused with some kind of liquid.
We're
None of us
I'm just gonna let that gloss over. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a completely like fine
Everybody
word to
had the
use.
same look on their face.
To be
Everybody
fair,
gotta focus.
Baby paper
I now
minutes?
plan to use the word impregnated instead of like infused, just to like make people uncomfortable in like future like games. So.
There's definitely some kind of liquid that has been infused into this paper, but with the light spell, it's like way too hard to see what it actually says or what it is.
Listen, it's too bright.
Too bright.
Yeah, it doesn't illuminate enough whatever is in this paper.
It needs to be brighter.
It needs the sun.
Right.
Yeah,
That's not going to be particularly. Okay.
I cast
It's
daylight.
not gonna be easy when there's a major magical storm going on here.
Motherfucker, have you just considered? Tell you know what, go find Acheron, talk to Acheron, I'll fix this in person.
Okay. I think we're going to need a bigger light.
Y'all are too smart to
God.
be this dumb. Go find Acheron.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
you finish.
Good idea, though.
I take the light off.
Okay.
Maybe
Phew.
something more.
All right, and you continue.
She makes the sound effect.
You continue heading towards the dye works, and you kind of stumble upon each other, just as Acheron and Titania kind of step out into the rain, having left the cellar behind.
Tony looks probably very disappointed in Acheron. Who looks really self-satisfied for some reason.
What did you do?
If anyone asks, you bite. And he's never smiled.
Yeah, I mean, you know that.
There's a blackbird here.
Yeah, we
No.
noticed.
So the black... we met him.
So you should come with us.
Here in the basement.
This way.
We gotta go.
Yep,
Yeah,
this way.
away from this place.
We'll head back out towards the outskirts where the Storm Holmish camp is.
Oh, okay. You step out on like the
we should
grassy
pick
moors.
up Dennis and.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna
no,
leave
no.
you would leave our child here?
Unless you want to have like a conversation first and then go and pick them up, or you want to like let's get the hell out of Dodge
Maybe we should
immediately.
talk first about...
Yeah, as we're talking, I'm basically relaying the conversation that we had with the Stormholmish person who's interested in Tyr's alchemical abilities. Not saying that you have to do anything with them, but that it's a way in to negotiate some kind of help or support in our current situation.
You mentioned the thing.
Yes, I'll mention that as well.
Have you tried looking at it against the sun?
Is the sun up?
And
I thought
points
it
to
like
the rain
It's
clouds.
raining. Yeah.
yeah. It's
Like
raining right
thunder.
now.
Yes, it also
rain.
is the evening and not the dawn. But
Yeah.
have you considered
Approaching
tomorrow
dusk.
morning
Yes, that's the
holding
plan.
it up at the sun?
Well,
Yes,
do
that's
you
the plan.
show the piece of paper to Acheron?
Oh,
yeah.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anya also has detect magic up.
Again, all of this this is very, we're being very sneaky
We're being
about
very
everything.
secretive. Yeah,
Okay.
sneaky.
Fair.
Unnecessary palming.
Well, Acheron, make me a sneaky intelligence check with your proficiency bonus added.
What am I doing?
Isn't that
intelligence?
subversion?
Okay.
Intelligence
Subterfuge.
plus
right?
your
Subterfuge.
proficiency.
Guidance.
Okay, actually subterfuge would make sense. Subterfuge intelligence.
Add a d4 for guidance.
Yeah, I gotta do math.
I'm sorry.
hates me.
Love you, babe. Have a d4.
I'm sorry. Okay, what's your rank in subterfuge?
2.
2. Okay, so that's just your proficiency bonus. What is your intelligence?
Plus
Intelligence
1,
plus
plus 1d4. Okay, I know what I'm rolling.
So you got
We're just getting off
20
the numbers.
plus 4 plus 24. No, yeah.
Ooh. 23 codes are my
I mean-
shit, I guess.
I mean, looking at it and smelling it a little bit, it's probably written with citrus.
Do I know how to fix that? Like how to reveal
a
it?
gentle flame reveals words or symbols written with citrus.
Acheron.
The more you know with Becky.
Acheron will turn to the group. Does anybody have a candle or can produce fire?
Tanya will just begin the beginnings of a casting a firebolt, which could she just create a little
Like-
fire in her hand?
That might be a little bit too.
Yeah,
Get a candle.
That would
We
be
have to
quite
have a
hard.
candle of some kind.
I mean, that would require like a dexterity check to not like get too close because a firebolt is pretty quick
Yeah,
burning and intense.
it has to be gentler than that.
what?
And you're
Okay.
standing in
Yeah.
pouring rain also.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
no, I
Can we, like, get
would
under
do
an
this like
overhang?
under a roof. Acheron, listen to me. I know how to read this.
Can we swipe
can do it
one
later.
from where we pick up Dennis? Surely they've got to have candles on the table.
Yeah. In the I mean, they probably have a lantern too if you want that.
I have a lantern, but it's
I
a
have a
bullseye
lantern as well.
lantern, so it's
You
like
said flame.
True,
not
prestidigitation
light.
used to like unnaturally heal the paper itself would also work.
You said flame, not light. So
Whatever you
that's
want
why I
to
said a
do.
candle.
Okay, anyway, you're standing underneath the roof of a hut at the outskirts of Savoie village. You've heard about the blackbird. You've heard about this message given by these random children of harmony. What do you talk about?
So, do we want to leave or are we staying for the death?
I think it's... I don't know what exactly I would do in talking to them, but I think maybe talking to the low cloaks just briefly before leaving might be good. But
they're all about knowledge and information, so they're a good source to trade with for useful knowledge at the very least. Maybe they would even be willing to they had a couple bodyguards and the girl who was talking to us, and maybe they'd even be willing to give us some people to protect us on the way to where we're going. I don't know, but I know that you definitely have something that they want, so that puts us in a good position for getting what we want.
Sure, let's do it.
Why do we need
At the very
protection?
least, we need to be covered from the rain.
That makes it so bad.
It's more the lightning I'm worried about.
A lightning bolt strikes like 500 meters away.
Really? I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure we were going to be smited. A cloak's not going to stop that.
It's better than nothing.
And like a second later, there's a
Might.
thunder.
If they're
Rumble
like,
through the
listen, if
area.
the lightning strikes like 5 meters away, Acheron will just flip off the sky. I hope you know, like covertly,
Not
but like
cold,
Acheron
dude.
will just kind of like give like a bitch, kind of like look at the clouds.
Okay, so we want to go and talk to the low cloaks. I get it. I gather. All right, so you're approaching the camp. When you get to a certain amount of like meters away, like 50 meters, there's like a guy that pops out from a few rocks that had like a cloak on with a certain like camouflage kind of like pattern to it, and make like a loud whistle, and then like waves and tells you to continue on walking. Your like approach has been like there's a certain signal of your approach, but you are welcome.
Gotcha.
And you continue walking ahead towards like that. It's like a bit of a circle where you have like smaller tents kind of surrounding this central like larger octagonal tent. And you see some of these bodyguards or servants or whatever they are, all like dressed in like heavy cloaks. A few of them that are on break are kind of sitting outside their tents or in the kind of foyer of their tents with like a little fire going and looking to start making some early dinner. Kind of just stare at you silently as you walk, and the main tent has been slightly opened with a dark-skinned hand who's just waiting for you there, and it's like a dark, gloomy interior beyond that you cannot see yet.
Good afternoon. Tanya says, pushing open the tent.
At that point, Assistant Hallmaster Daziana Guerrero like pushes open the tent even further. She looks a little bit impatient, like she has been standing there waiting for you to like make your way over here. And she immediately dazzles you with like a bright smile. Ah, there you finally are. Welcome, welcome. Tea? Something stronger?
Tea's fine. I was told that some Nilo cloaks had some interest in me for some reason.
You are the one. Well, then you're especially welcome. You step into a very furnished tent. Like there's several pelts on the ground to make sure you're not walking like on normal ground. There's like a central like desk. There's like maps and scrolls and like different trinkets around, and like a veiled area that probably leads into some kind of sleeping arrangement. But in the middle of the tent there are some pillows and shorter chairs that is kind of arranged in a circle around like a central kind of brazier that has some dying embers in it. And she immediately like points you towards the pillows and the chairs around the embers.
Yeah, Titania will take a seat and say, "You all are surprisingly well funded. The university never gave me anything of this sort when I went out researching."
Surprisingly funded. Darling, this is only the tip of an iceberg of how deep the pockets of the low cloaks go.
Is this the beginnings of a bribe?
A bribe? No. Fair compensation for talent and hard work, dearie. Nothing else. If you work hard and you have the talents and the pizzazz when you do it, then you should be compensated properly, no?
Sure.
Good. So, you're a miracle brewer?
Of sorts. Why are the low cloaks so interested?
Why are the low cloaks so interested? I mean, I assume that there's a certain amount of intelligence accompanied by miracle brewing, so why don't you try figuring it out for me?
Well, I can make some assumptions, but
What are your assumptions? Please, humor me.
I would be surprised if you all, with this amount of funding, weren't able to divulge such secrets on your own. That's striking.
Ah, I see. Yes. Well, in that department, the church is infuriatingly tight grip.
Stringent?
That too.
I know
They're,
from personal experience.
Surprisingly good at keeping this mystery secret.
Hmm. And so you're curious what I could or would be willing to share with you.
Indeed. And work with us and teach more of you and create a little army of small, well, whatever your name is, you.
The professional term used outside the church is alchemist, so I prefer that one, because miracle brewer sounds like it's some sort of, divine special thing and not science, which is what it actually is, so.
We are very pleased to hear that, because that's what we have thought all along, that there is a science to it, and we are dying to learn. And we are willing to pay handsomely for such secrets.
What are you offering?
Basically, employment is what I'm offering. In return of, loyalty and exclusivity of what you know. Some hours of your time. We will offer protection, of course. A nice little boat voyage down the Frostmark coast, down to Stormholm. Probably a nice villa somewhere with a great sea view.
So here's the thing. Most of that sounds lovely, but exclusivity rights to the low cloaks I am not willing to budge on. I wish to share this information much farther and wider than just Stormholm.
I'm sure that in time, that such knowledge will spread. It tends to happen no matter how hard we try to keep our grip on such things. But you got to understand that us giving you our protection and our money, considering when the other guilds would probably try to kidnap you and force the information out of you, there should be something in it for us. And that is exclusivity rights. But we could perhaps negotiate a 5-year kind of contract. And then after that, you're free to go off and tell whoever you want. And as I said, the seaside villa is thrown in.
See, here's the thing. Were I to you'll have a market advantage regardless of whether or not there's any exclusivity rights, simply by being the ones to first have it. Me being one of, if not the only person willing to spread this. I'm only one person. I can't travel around Frostmark in a blink of an eye. And I understand. Below Cloaks are looking for a market advantage, or trying to create, some privatized healthcare like the Rionish Church are doing, but with money instead of faith. Or money only instead of money and faith. And frankly, I understand the economic incentive, but also I am definitely more in it for the people. And so, I would absolutely love to work with you. I cannot simply sell my services to just the low cloaks. I am willing to, be a head of research, though I can't be there always. I do have my own responsibilities and my own research that I'm interested in. I cannot always be stuck in Stormholm. And I would like access to all information from the researchers, so I could... And that's the thing, if we have a contract, of course. At the end of said contract, I could go out and then share it in a more public sense, you know.
A woman of the people. I respect that, and you seem pretty sharp and stand up for yourself. I respect. But let me tell you some things that you might not know. The Stormholmish market is the fastest moving one in Frostmark. We are
Right.
on the cusp of technology in all things. If we are not, then we simply die. This is just how things are. And the market between the guilds is quite cutthroat.
Mm-hmm.
Us keeping you safe will be a significant investment. Believe me, the Night Striders would put you in a cellar, strip you naked, and, remove any kind of sunlight and food from you, and probably beat you and do all other kind of horrible things until you just become their slave. And we would
That's like the
protect you
church.
from that. We like to have a bit more of a cordial relationship with our researchers, and that's why I think it is opportune that you met the low cloaks first, and not
Indeed.
the black alleyway of a Night Strider operative.
Right. So here's the thing. I need you and also your entire guild.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't think I got your name. I'm Titania, by the way.
Titania, great to meet you. Assistant Hallmaster Daziana Guerrero.
Asiana.
Taz.
Pleasure.
Taz.
Taz. Excellent. So here's the thing. I hope you know, in doing so, will be brazenly going against the power of the Rionish Church.
That too. Cost a lot. But we're already doing that in several matters. But this one might be the most heretical yet, but do not count our resources short.
I would be curious to see what other things you are doing that are outside the church's jurisdiction. Okay, so...
Wouldn't you? Yeah, there are some interesting fields of research that we're getting into. Maybe you could get access to that in the contract of our exclusivity of those agreed upon years.
Okay, I'm willing to do the exclusivity contract, but I can't go... I think I need to set a hard limit at 1 year.
Is there even any need of a contract? If you're interested in a contract, then absolutely go for it, yeah, but obviously at the moment we have, and I believe you have other things that you want to do. Maybe at this point, if you're not particularly interested in a contract, we can just exchange information for information.
Maybe we shouldn't discount the kind of protection that comes with a group like this, given everything. After all, having exclusivity for however many years can only really matter if you're still alive.
A realist. I like it. Quite true.
Yes. And these resources are very appealing given our circumstances. We are without allies, frankly, without protection, and running against the most powerful organization in all of Frostmark.
Well, then Stormholm is the place to be. We've been doing that for, 100 years now?
Maybe...
My interest. I don't know if I can, sign a contract right now, or,
no,
draft
and I
up
don't
anything.
have the rights to do so. You kind of need to do it with, the guildmaster anyway. But I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page. Do not want to
One
spring any... Oh. I have been rudely interrupted. So, handsome tall man there in the corner. I'm sure that you have seen your fair share of battles, no? Did you, the little one? Girl, boy?
Sure.
He was just in...
Yes.
I would be quite interested to see what you're able to do.
Probably more than your people.
Ah, I like that. The confidence. How exciting.
Let's put it this way. I'm well worth any investment, not just in power, but some of us have secrets that are not necessarily scientific, but more of a political nature.
Well, those
just
can
only interested in
be
the physicality.
monetary rewards for such things. Indeed.
I'm well worth whatever. I'm well worth the protection I'd require.
Alright,
or
alright.
he'd require.
But
like
you
the
have to understand, Taz, that we are currently have things we need to do in...
What are you in need of doing?
We need information about Alderholt and the Raven Moors and where they're staying. And what they're doing where they're staying.
Well,
We want information on the Raven Moors and what they're doing with the strange things that they've been finding in the earth up there.
You know, these words, they're making me all tingly all over. Like where we're going. Sounds like you have some information that is of high worth. Speaking of the Raven Moors, we would have to bring you to Alderholt and through Alderholt to the port, to our ship, to get you out of here. That's just how reality is.
I was actually interested in asking about that because I don't think the people here in the Raven Moorlands are particularly fond of us either.
Oh no,
so-
what have you done?
Her and
Well,
looks
we're
to Titania.
Well-
We have the unfortunate problem of having existed on the wrong side previously. Sins of the father or homeland or something similar.
But breaking up from the church and being quite angry about them is all up the Ravenmoor's alley. You would be quite welcome, if that's all there is. I can give you papers to go through the gates, if that is what you wish. But
We
then
don't
I
need
need
that.
your, you know...
We have papers to get through.
Oh, you do?
We need information about what's there, what we'd be facing when we entered,
Alright.
about the Raven Moors
maybe.
themselves and their activities.
If you can help us complete our task. The sooner we complete our task, the sooner we can all join up and discuss
Exactly.
further
We can't
collaboration.
do anything with you contractual until we finish this. And so if you can help us finish this, then you're helping yourself.
Then do I have your spoken promise that after the low cloaks have assisted you in whatever capacity they're able to in Alderholt, that you will board our ship and enter into a contract with us in Stormhold? I do not say any details about what kind of contract that is, but only that you're willing to work with us in some regard. Do I have your promise?
Maybe that we'll meet up and discuss the contract upon which we will agree. I think agreeing to board your ship without an actual contract in place first would be quite foolish.
Yeah, once our task is complete, the negotiating table will be open, and you will have done us a favor, meaning you will, which will be, of course, considered when making the terms of said contract.
And that's why, at the moment, with the limits we have, we can exchange information for information without any contracts involved. Simple exchange. After we completed our task, we will be more free for more significant and obligatory commitments. Exactly.
All right. I would be able to do a minor contract with you, a shorter contract, but I would require a hallmaster at least to do the proper contracts, and that would require meeting a hallmaster in Stormhall.
As long as we'd have your promise that should we travel, we'd be allowed out again.
No,
We
you
don't
would
need
be
a
allowed
contract
to
now.
disembark the ship. That's for sure.
I don't think we should get into a contract while we're still busy doing something else.
No, we can write that
We can
up
do contracts afterwards.
when you're approaching our ship in Alderholt. At
Billow cloaks.
Abelus Wharf.
Billow cloaks are
Can we get a spelling of that?
decent allies. I can't vouch for everything, but given my knowledge of them, I think maybe an agreement, official or not, would work. To satisfy both our needs.
Any agreement with the
restrictive?
low cloaks is quite official.
Well then.
That's why for now we have an exchange, and then that sets up a nice foundation of faith between the two. That we have something of value on each side to offer each other.
That's acceptable to me. I will tell you what I know of Alderholt City if you tell me about these interesting things that I've been taking from the dirt.
We need more than just Alderholt City information. We need to know about the Raven Moors themselves, where they stay, and anything you can tell us about them specifically, and their fort. Do they live in a fort? I can't remember if it's like a fort or a castle or etc.
No, it's
See,
something.
there's quite a lot of extensive knowledge but I don't know what I'm going to get in return. So why
Tell
don't
you
you
what.
start, and I will reciprocate in the manner I think is equal. You have my word.
I'm deferring to Acheron.
Yeah, I think I have the most knowledge, political knowledge I can throw out without
Yeah.
sacrificing stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna think. So can I, Bexxy?
Yeah, hello.
What is a relatively low risk but decent value secret, that I know that I could exchange?
Without creating more competitors for whatever we're looking
I
for.
want basically, because I have a lot of political knowledge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I am willing to give up shit about the agents, just flat out. I think Acheron absolutely is at this point. But
Behavior.
the church, Acheron doesn't want to give the biggest thing away first. Acheron kind of wants to do here's a little thing that I can give that clearly has a lot more stuff that I'm looking for a secret that proves Acheron has a lot of knowledge but isn't super big, isn't the whole thing, and I'm not sure if what that would be, if that makes any sense.
You might be able to reveal the ground, how much the church has been acquiring ground,
Okay.
in Mulgrave,
All right.
for
Acheron will-
the purposes of supporting the new prime servant and her ascension
Yes.
to the seat.
Acheron will give that number. Acheron will, in the last however long, it was God, it was 7 years or something. less, more, somewhere around there. Somewhere between 5 and 7 years, I think.
Just hold on, I'm gonna invite a scribe. She like
That's fine.
peeks her head out, she shouts to somebody and somebody comes. More of like a life build, a younger kind of boy, like early 20s.
Oh, we're gonna traumatize him so bad with
Small
this knowledge.
like spectacles, and then you sit up in a corner like far away from your view, and then she starts scribbling quietly.
Acheron will, be like in the last, like when I, worked under the Cardinal Irene. I'm gonna totally blank on her last name. So fast.
LeBlanc.
Yeah, LeBlanc. They, gives like the amount of land that Acheron knows was acquired, and will drop that they actively participated in this land acquisition to like kind of hint that they know a lot more. For the purposes of being given to the church and assisting in her rise to power and that kind of thing.
That is very interesting. Thank you for sharing. You must live a very dangerous life. There are very few of you that survive. They don't survive for long.
No, they don't. That's why I'm so good and definitely worth it. There's plenty more where that came from, including knowledge of our creation.
Knowledge of our creation.
I'm assuming you know what I am. Let's not beat around the bush here.
That kind of creation.
And others. More powerful
Yes, well, I
than
have some information about it, but more is always welcome. Okay, well, thank you. Alderhold is a city of about 20,000 souls. The amount has been decreasing in this last couple of years because of various wars has been going on in this region. It's also that the Ravenmoor seems to be particularly bloody in their demand of loyalty and punishment. It's a port city, the largest one on the coast of Oldwood. And it has two ports, the western one, Haven Quay, is more for the fishermen and the local ships, and then you have the wharf where boats are not only built, but there is also a official embassy for any long traveling ships to take their port. And that's a Belus wharf. The castle, Alder Castle, on the Alder Rise, sits outside of the walls proper, on a large hill overlooking the city. And on a smaller hill beside of it, you will have the Alder Fort, which is the military academy and the seat of military protection of the area. In what particular direction? What I've been taught deserves a little bit more information, but in which direction do you want me to reveal information? Now you have the background.
Towards the castle, I imagine. Unless others think something else would be more worthwhile. The castle and its residents.
I see. Well, the new military organization that like to call themselves the Enforcers have taken over the fort, the oldest fort that used to be controlled by the leadership of the Strasse in the region. They now use these facilities to teach and house the Enforcers. Then further up you got a bridge leading between the hills. It's very steep, is very well protected, towers on both sides, then it leads up to the castle itself. The castle is of medium size, half for pleasure, half built for protection, I would say, but has the advantage of a very strong environmental position. The hill itself is extremely steep, and once you come upon the walls themselves, it gets even steeper. It's quite hard to take it. It has an outer ring, a inner ring, and the Margrave Stavrias was overtaken, of course, in the Civil War by the Countess Larissa and Alexei Ravenmore. And they now have taken up their seat in the castle together with a number of blackbirds. They like to call themselves unofficially within the rank Storm Witches sometimes. They are a cult and a kind of priesthood worshipping the Stormlord together with the Enforcers. And they have taken up the position of being, you know, scribes and bureaucrats of the empire, of the area. Having a lot of bureaucrats have lost their jobs and have disappeared mysteriously, or disappeared among the population, you could say. Left some people angry, as you can imagine.
Yeah, that part sounds familiar.
Indeed. What's interesting is that most of the Storm Witches are female orphans. Plucked from the streets, given a warm meal, and then put into extreme school, where they either float or sink, disappear if they don't make it, and if they do, they become high members of society suddenly.
That sounds exceptionally familiar, actually.
And it was through this means that they were able to take such a well-defended, well-positioned castle in the first place?
The history of the Ravenmoors and their approach through this countryside, I think, merits another secret. From me, don't you think?
I don't know if I'm that interested.
I think it's worth it, don't you?
It's not like we're going to try and take the castle.
It's none of your secrets.
Yeah. If you wish to share more.
Does Titania seem like she wants to know more?
I think Titania is like kind of just taking notes on everything. She
Our
looks to you and
scribes.
says, if you think it'll be of use, then.
Yeah, fuck it, why not? I can't look at fuck with church secrets.
So what about the thing about the Ravenmoors finding things in the dirt? Has that anything to do with this rumored artifact that they might be possessing?
Depends on what you mean about the artifact.
Oh, I have no idea. An artifact is a bit of a catch-all term, is it not? You tell me.
I couldn't tell you if it was anything to do with that if I don't know the details around what you're talking about.
think that one's
'Cause all
a
you
little
know is that there's a
too
rumor of
much.
an artifact. That's it.
But you knew that it was taken from the dirt.
I don't know if it's the same thing you're talking about.
I think that there's only one legend about an artifact the Ravenmoors are possessing, no?
What I'm saying is whatever they're taking out of the ground may not be an artifact if I don't... All you say is artifact, like you say it's a catch-all term. Can you give me more details around what it is?
Do you know
this rumor
anything
is?
else about the artifact itself, so that we don't provide useless information?
They guard it jealously.
Is that it?
There's another interesting fact about it that does not come free.
We know that it may have assisted in the murder of the king.
In what way?
Isn't that just the question?
Hmm.
All we know is that the king visited, and according to a witness account, on the visit upon which he disappeared and or was murdered, the artifact was spotted at some point.
But that we already know. Something else that I do not know, please.
It's really fucking old. How much is Acheron like reveal stuff? Does the party seem to be giving like the oh my god fucking shut up look, or is it seem to be fine?
I'm being like very close lip about it because I don't want them getting involved in it. But you know, I've already said it that they're looking in the ground, so that should be enough. I don't want to tell them where it is or anything like that.
Okay.
So I guess we could say that it was. It seems
can
to be
reveal what it
related
does.
to these. Yeah, it seems to be related to these enforcers and their terrible abilities.
Oh, Acheron was.
I don't know. I don't know. If
I
you
know. I know what
that.
Acheron will say. It'll be fine because it'll sound really confusing and it won't matter in the end after all. So, Acheron's gonna say, we know that it can summon an unstoppable power which can completely murder an entire room of trained assassins at its will. How's that for a secret?
That is a big secret. Do you know the mechanisms of this summoning?
I mean, that's another pretty big secret, so
Yeah.
what is its function by us? Let's start there.
That's acceptable of a price. We know that the Ravenmoors have been granted a number of soul crystals from the Cardinal Arene, and they are sometimes brought around in the city and taken out by blackbirds into the landscape, surrounding areas, and then on a regular basis are brought back to the castle.
What was the name of it? A number of what crystals?
Soul crystals.
Oh, soul
Soul
crystals.
The one,
Okay.
like the ones we found and the ones to talk
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
And then are brought back into the castle, and then out they go again.
I have another secret I can reveal. Just realized it isn't about the artifact.
Did you say
I
who
know.
they taken around by? Was it by the enforcers?
Enforcers and
blackbirds,
blackbirds. Mostly
blackbirds, okay.
blackbirds.
That is very useful knowledge.
Good. I'm happy to be useful.
It has certainly opened up more options, I think.
But how is that related to the artifact?
Maybe that's where they're getting the power to protect it.
I mean, it's not difficult to figure out. There's hardly anybody that is allowed inside of the castle anymore. And if they are a blackbird, an enforcer, or somebody very loyal to the Ravenmoors. And where would they hold an artifact of that kind of legendary status? There's nowhere else that is so heavily fortified.
I mean, we knew it was there. That's not news.
It was not used to
How?
you. How did you know not being in Alderhall to begin with?
That's for me to know.
And for me to ponder upon. Like it, a puzzle.
Ginevra.
You have played this game before, little lady, haven't you?
I like playing games.
I wonder for who.
Myself. Always.
Well, yes, everybody plays a game for themselves, but they always want protection with a second entity. And I wonder what entity that is.
That's where they fail.
You know, I like all of you. You have a certain air of mystery around you. It's exciting for somebody like me.
I mean, if this all works out, maybe all of us will have some answers by the end of this, right?
Oh, I certainly hope so, that everybody comes richer from all of this. That's the goal of the low cloaks in the end, of course. What about you? The silent one? Do you have any questions?
It's not very friendly.
I'm curious about a few things, but I'm here doing a job just as you are.
Employ the working man. I see.
Could say that. We have aligned curiosities, shall we say. You seem to be curious about this artifact.
I mean,
It's a
isn't
rumor
everybody in
that
Frostmark at this point?
We have a vested interest in discovering what that is. As do you. If it just so happens that in this instance that we can find some sort of parallel alliance, well, we both stand to gain from it. But I'm sure you're aware that alliances can fall. I only suggest that you don't think that you could get one up on us, shall we say? You may be the low cloaks, but there are probably bigger things than a single faction, if it's what the rumors say.
She got lost a little bit in your eyes as you spoke.
Damn it.
But she kind of
Everybody loves Aaron.
catches
Everyone,
herself.
everyone
love
sounds
some this
bad
bad
for
boy.
Aaron. Fucking hell. It's the fucking Tumblr sexy man appeal.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
He's a literal angel. Come on.
Everyone's down bad for the Eldritch Beast that walks
Yeah,
around.
they always got something for the monsters.
Oh god.
Yeah, where does you know what? Maybe that's something we need to talk about. Is where Aaron falls on that spectrum.
On the monster fucking
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
gonna be pretty close to the human side, I mean. It's just a little.
Erin is a person.
little.
Let's calm down.
You did this, Bex. You
Yeah,
did
it's
this.
from you.
You and your NPCs.
I'm making all the NPCs horny for air.
This makes sense.
What do you expect us to do?
But she catches herself, brings her out a little bit of that kind of hypnotization. No, the low clubs would never dream of trying to explode you. And that's where contracts come in when alliances fail. There's a simple truth to contracts, and we like them. Duties, privileges, consequences. So simple, laid out on a paper.
You make it sound so simple.
It is. If you
Thing
know what you
is,
want.
A contract is only as good as the understanding between the two parties. A piece of paper won't prevent anything from failing. And we have no reassurances that the low cloaks are going to be working in our best interest, just like you don't know that we're working in yours. So, at this point, we are working on an act of faith, are we not?
Faith. I don't like that word.
That is why we had this exchange. So it's more than just faith. So to show that there's good intentions
Good.
on both sides.
I like that. Showing some good intentions. I think things become quite clear when you lay out earnestly what you want.
I want
If-
to discover what that artifact really is.
And I want to have an alchemist in the low cloaks employ. See? Now you know my goals, I know your goals, and everything else just makes sense. Does it not?
Out of character, I have one more really big thing I think I can tell for free. So we have big questions.
Okay.
I'm not saying this in character, but like out of
Yeah,
character.
I think that we probably got as much as we can about the artifact from her, because whatever we got, maybe you guys, because you know more about soul crystals, it's more useful. But to me, I'm
I
like,
want to
that wasn't
disrupt
useful.
Irene's soul crystal operation, so I want to tell this secret, but I don't want to give it for free.
No,
So-
she doesn't know anything about this artifact that we don't already know.
Well, okay, but maybe she knows about like okay, the Necron's gonna ask what she knows about the castle staffing. And, like,
I was gonna ask. I don't think it's worth a big secret. I think it can be free. I was just gonna ask what their interest is in the religion. Like, do they have any care about any religion? Because they're kind of allying with people following the Stormlord, but are they themselves at all affiliated to any kind of religion, or could they not care less?
Good question.
But I think that's a free question, maybe. You know.
about the low cloak zone like things.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of
Yeah.
just a question.
They're
questioning
pure
the motivations. I
academic,
think it's
aren't they?
important. Yeah.
I think Acheron knows the answer. Aren't they purely
They're
academic?
capitalists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're just
either money or
here
knowledge.
because it's opportunity more than
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. There you go. See, you guys gave it to me for free.
I really want to. Okay, Acheron's gonna ask how much they know about Irene's involvement and how stable that is with the Raven Wars. Bexxy?
Well, that might require some payment. This time I will start, and you might tell me whatever I might be lacking.
Okay.
We know that there is a line of communication that is special between the Cardinal Irene and the Ravenmoors outside, or superfluous on top of the one that the Cardinal Lumina has of Oldwood. What's interesting is that Irene has supplied the Ravenmoors with the soul crystals, considering they are heretics of the highest degree in the eyes of the church, meaning that she must get something back in return. What that is, we haven't figured out.
Are you trying to?
No, yes, of course we are. Maybe we can intersect and do the thing job for her that Ravenmoor does, but more efficient.
You know where you could intersect?
We have tried making discreet contact with Cardinal Irene. She hasn't answered. She has quite ignored us, which is a little bit rude. At least a greeting would be nice. And the Ravenmoors are very tight-lipped about their involvement with the Cardinal. It is interesting, though, that no agents of the church has been able to put a knife in the back of these prime heretics.
Well, it's because they're working together. We know that there are agents here somewhere. In Alderholt, I think, as well.
It was a theory of ours. But if you can confirm that, the next question becomes, what would be so important for Cardinal Irene that she would protect heretics with the use of the church's agents, killing other agents and operatives and soldiers of the church?
It will not mean anything to Irene. I know exactly what she's after. I just don't know how this serves that goal.
I mean, people and people, but people still have a cost.
I suppose that's fair enough.
She's
I
still
think
sacrificing a cost for something.
Isn't the position of Prime Soul worth anything?
She's ambitious, but the Solar Priest is still quite young. Unless she knows she's going to die soon, which would be very juicy. And in what way would protecting these heretics bring her closer to the Solar Throne?
Makes the Primes look... it ousts Lumina, who has a bigger area of control than she does.
Make Lumina look back or step forward and be a saint in a war?
Makes her look weak. Makes Lumina look weak, and if Irene can step up and fix things or keep them under control where Lumina failed, it elevates her in the running, doesn't it?
But then the question becomes, if the Ravenmoors think that the Cardinal is only using them until she allows them to be squished when it's her hand doing it, why are the Ravenmoors agreeing?
Maybe they want to start a war.
Is war truly the goal?
I have no idea.
A war that they are unable to win. I mean, if
Are
the
they?
church really wants to destroy the old woodish coast, then it will be destroyed. It will cost a lot, but it will be destroyed. It's not like attacking Stormhall, for example. That cost will be astronomical.
Unless they had some sort of secret weapon and a magic army.
Magic army, yes, they are scary, that's for sure, but they're not enough. And the church has their own magic on their side, do they not? Which only brings us to the secret weapon. And how all of this comes full circle with what you're interested in.
I don't know what it is exactly. The last secret I have to give is not necessarily about that, and I'm not sure what information we need for it, but I know where the soul crystals come from.
Well, they are mined somewhere in Crow Hill, are they not? Sometimes they are known to pop up into their mines.
What do you know about them?
They also sometimes come in the Gabaran range in the Storm Hall. A little bit less frequently so, but sometimes we sell them to the church.
But like, why do they grow? Is the question.
Why they grow? That I have no idea. All we know that is that we find them deep into the bedrock from time to time. What they do, well, when a person dies and their soul join Rian in their paradise and the glory in the solar realm, go into the darkness of the torturous opposite realm. The soul crystals, from what we are able to understand, halts that journey for some time.
You mean they're the souls of people who died in the vicinity?
Indeed. With a hand that knows what they're doing, they're able to transfer a soul of somebody who has recently died into the crystal itself. For as long as the owner of the crystal wishes it. It's quite macabre when you think about it. If you believe in what the Rihanna Church is preaching, that's probably why this information is not widely known. That the ascension to the solar realm can be so easily thoughted.
Souls don't just... Like, they have to be put in there on purpose, so they can't just... Like, it's not like if someone just dies near them, they'll get stuck, right?
When it comes to natural crystal formations, it seems like when we have done experiments with it, that souls tend to enter into the crystal for a number of days and then continues on. When you have refined the crystal, however, you have to do it purposefully, moving the soul from one to the other, and that requires a priest or somebody who is well versed with heretical magic, and that's hard to come by. Then it lasts forever, or until you wish to remove the soul. Now what do I get in return for saying such important research?
Well, Bexxy, what do I know that's... I think the thing I thought I had was... What's something Acheron has that's worth that?
Oof.
That might be worth anything.
That's like pretty major. You probably had to like do a pretty detailed account of your training through the church. But you can like stay an hour with the scribe and like...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Acheron's still with that.
You offered some, some light food in the tent. It's not like the biggest kind of feast, but it's more like assortment of nuts and fruits and, things like that.
Oh no, not telling on the church.
Oh no, telling on our enemies? Oh no.
Oh no, not recounting how they tortured children to someone, and someone's gonna write it down. Oh no.
Oh no.
That's the last thing I wanted to happen. You know what, actually, Acheron might...
Tanya just, puts the bottom half of her face into her big-ass coat to hide her smile.
Sips her tea contently.
Yeah, Acheron will definitely, give, a detailed... Acheron will give a detailed recounting of the training and, the whole, oh yeah, I was, especially being, I can attest that, I was older, being, 11 when I joined. People were usually, children, they came this and that,
yeah. You
the whole thing. And this, Acheron's willing to just talk. Listen, we're at war now. This is...
Okay.
Especially if someone's gonna write this shit down, Acheron will give them all of it.
All right.
Every horrible thing.
Sometimes, like, the scribe asks some follow questions, and you spend some,
Yeah.
like, some serious time with each other and your horrible past. And when it's all over and tasks have had some light, just some general chit chat with you. She's gonna look at the waning light that is coming down from the very small hole that lets the smoke out through her tent. Well, the hour grows late. This is the last chance for any last minutes questions. Otherwise, I wish you good night. It's been very fruitful so far. What we have got going on here. She gives you a cat-like grin.
Wait, it remains that way.
Oh, I pray. She says very sarcastically.
If you want more, then you have to hope that we stay alive on our journeys.
Then
Does your ship have a name so we can identify Annapolis Wharf?
If we get there.
it has a
When we get
name,
there.
but that I hadn't prepared. Good lord.
Hello, boat.
Oh, the
Hello,
low
boat.
bow.
Bodie McBoatface.
Low bow.
Respectable name, to be honest.
You're given a name. I will prepare for next time.
Yeah.
How dare you not have it, Bexxy?
Vitalos, not having an answer to every possible question.
Vitalos.
Shame. This can't be happening.
Alright.
Be careful.
Thank you for the hospitality.
I might sacrifice a goat and ask Thor to smite you. So be careful.
Oh, hell yeah. I love
Also-
getting smited.
At this point, has the ceremony thing happened now that we've been here for like an hour and a half? 2 hours?
It seems to be
Explaining.
still going on. If you're going back into the village, it's silence
I
like
don't wanna go there.
crickets.
I don't want to go anywhere near that place.
And
fucking terrified, it's in the sky.
you learned that the church was some while away, so like a walk away.
I mean,
so they're not
we
in the village.
theoretically collected the people we needed. Surely we could just fuck off. Be fine.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we got everything we wanted here. Like,
Yeah. I'd like to find somewhere private. I need to talk with you all.
I don't know. what
As
we've
a
done.
general advice, I would just stay safe.
We will, thank you. And you as
Good.
well.
Seems like my line of these of my work these coming days will not be as dangerous as yours, and I need you for my money's sake, so try to have some sympathy.
We can only do what we can do.
We will see you again. I'm
Good.
sure.
I hope so. Well then.
We'll leave.
Alright.
Peace out.
I go to
Love
figure
her.
out what Ginevra's done.
She waves goodbye. Okay, where are we going?
You need a mic to drop.
Did I ever read what was on the message? What was on the piece of paper?
No.
Not yet.
Did they have a candle in there?
We're not reading it in front of them. Are you
Do you want to
insane?
reveal it in front of her?
I can
Oh, no, actually,
grab.
no.
We have lamps.
The village.
Maybe you can grab a candle out of my alchemist
Also, the village is
supplies.
empty right now, so we could just be in the village
Bruh.
because nobody's there.
Yes, you do hear the crying of some babies and some younger children, so there seems to be some caretakers, taking care of
They're just
that.
fucking left alone.
But that's like, what? Less than 10? Talking like just a few houses, like 10 in perhaps total, that is having this communal kind of take care of the children, and they're inside, they're supposed to go to bed very soon, so you're very alone.
Yeah. So could we get to like a tavern or something
Yes.
in where we could get a candle?
Well,
so
we're
I
meant
can read
to
the
go to
message?
Bogdana and Dennis anyway, so that's
Yeah.
they're at the tavern.
Yeah, yeah.
So you walk into the tavern, and sitting in the corner Bogdana is trying to show Dennis how to smoke and playing cards.
Oh, I'm so glad that we left Bogdana with
Don't
him, because
corrupt our
surely some
child.
girl would have picked him up and brought him to the friggin'
Oh god.
sacrifice.
You can hear like Dennis cough a little bit, and he has a bit of blush on his cheeks. He's probably had a little bit.
Having
Being
fun.
a child, I see.
He's 19.
A child.
He's an adult.
Something in between. Oh, you guys! This is amazing! Have you ever had this? This is so relaxing.
Yes, a whole adult.
Come on, lighten up.
Adulty.
He could probably use some relaxation after what we've been through.
Is everything
No.
okay? Like, do you need me, or I feel like a little bit useless, like hanging
Yeah,
around
just chill
here.
out.
But I feel like you're dumping
You know
me
what?
for Bogdana to like babysit me. But I mean, I might just be crazy. I don't think you would do that kind of thing to me.
We just thought you could use some time to just sit and fucking chill. It's been a lot recently.
I appreciate that. I do feel pretty chill right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Good. That's
might-
perfect. That's exactly what we were hoping.
I might have a snack and take a nap later.
Okay, great. You do that. She gets out the note. She absentmindedly talking to him.
Everyone looks
And,
like they want to make a mean comment but doesn't say anything.
So,
oh,
have you found out if they're batshit crazy or not yet? They're batshit
Oh yeah,
crazy,
they're all
aren't
trying to die.
I think that's evident
Oh.
from just looking at them.
Oh, maybe.
You only have to be around
know,
5
if
minutes.
they're too happy, they kind of want to die. Is that what you're saying? Oh, yeah, I kind of find that too.
I mean,
Isn't
good
that a
on
little bit
them.
sad, though?
They're happy because they
Why?
think they are going to die.
Oh, wow.
If they didn't think that they could die,
Yeah.
they'd be sad.
As I said to Dennis, this is too good to be true.
I mean, if they want to die, good for them. They take up less space and resources, so it's honestly kind of respectful.
Unless,
when
a
look at it
community
that
kind of
way.
needs them, being a part of a chain and a wheel, all of that.
Bogdana also high.
She's not really high. She knows how to handle her smoke.
Yeah,
Thank
I was just
you.
wondering, has she been here this long with Dennis that she's managed to actually get herself high?
She is relaxed, but she's not high.
Okay.
I mean, how good for the community are they if all they want to do is die?
I mean, I think you should iron out the whole thing that they want to die because this whole world works. I mean, I assume it's important for somebody.
Fair enough. I just don't see the whole point in dying in the
The
first
question
place.
is, what I, want to know is like, why is the blackbird necessary for this whole ceremony? Is it just because he's some kind of priest wanting to be here?
Probably
or-
stealing the souls.
Say
Oh,
what?
fuck.
Did that not occur to you?
No, that's awful. They think they're getting
Sorry-
broken from the
sorry,
cycle and
out
they
of-
just
out
get their
of
fucking soul
character, that
fucked
was-
up. That's
Out of character, I
awful.
thought that was so obvious.
No, my
I don't know
intelligence
how I
is
didn't
minus
realize that.
1,
That's-
guys. I don't
Wait,
make
am
that
I the
kind of
only one
connection.
that thought of that?
Am I not
wait,
alone?
wait,
Okay.
out of character, am I the only one that thought of that?
I think you might be, because I definitely did not think of that. That's depressing as hell.
I
Oh,
thought
God.
You're
thought
just-
that was
you're
so
just fucked up.
obvious.
So it just comes natural to you. We're too innocent,
That's so
wholesome.
true.
Andrew,
For that kind of
did you
thinking.
think?
Bestie.
Did you think of that line?
No, yeah, Akron definitely said that out loud. Akron says to steal their souls, obviously.
Wait, what?
See,
I mean,
they have soul mark. They probably know the soul drain.
Well, do you think that's why they're given the soul crystals? Do you think that this is one of
Yeah.
the things that they let
Is
them
this
out
not the
for to do
best
this?
way to? I mean, why else would they protect this
Ah.
place if it weren't just a soul factory? I
Can
mean,
soul
what does this
crystals-
place do
Can
for
soul
the
crystals
Raven Wars?
hold more than one soul in them?
Yeah, we had one that
Well,
had
Tanya's
three.
has 3. Has 3.
Shit.
So
I forgot about
this
that.
place,
Okay.
this place is a soul factory. These people are willing to kill themselves. They don't even have to
Oh
murder
my
people.
God.
It's
Convenient.
easy souls.
They totally put that. They must have put that thought into his head. Like when he went on his fucking pilgrimage, they put something in the water. I don't know.
Well, of
'Cause
course.
that's too convenient.
It's like I said to Titania. This place does indoctrinate That's like indoctrination 101. You tell people a better lie than what people will always pick the better reality, even if it's not the actual reality.
Even if it's no reality at all.
Yeah. Lies are so much more comforting than the truth. And these people are literally clamoring to die. It's endless souls, and they're raising kids to want to die. Endless souls forever. Why do you? Is
The sooner
that
we
that's
get
probably why
out of
they're
here.
protecting this place?
Better. And the sooner we deal with the Raven Wars, the better.
Mm.
So, sorry, can I read what's on this thing?
Yes, now that I've
That's
sufficiently
closing.
broken everyone's brain.
Yep.
I apologize for being fucked up enough to know this.
No, don't. It was useful.
Good. Bogdana mutters to herself, like, this is why I don't want to get rid of Larissa and her hijinks. And as you, like, very gingerly, like, heat up the paper at the other side of, like, a candle, the citrus juice that is infused to the paper darkens into a brownish gray, and what is revealed is a symbol on the paper. It's a horizontal line with a circle, a half circle, like on top of the line, but it goes like outside of the circle on both sides, and then has a number of like rays that is coming from the circle, which is quite easily recognizable as the dawn of Lysander.
The dawn of the what?
Dawn of Lysander. It's
Alexander.
Lysander.
Lysander. Oh, sorry.
The old name, right?
Which is
Or no, the royal family.
is the you know, personal arms of the royal family of Oldwood.
Yeah.
The personal arms of the royal family of Oldwood.
Yes.
Oh shit.
Is that a character?
Yeah. So yeah.
It's funny how oblivious Geneva is. Like, it's so funny.
I think Acheron just like giggles a little at the oh shit.
I mean, I don't even know if she would know that was. Maybe she probably would know that was the crest. I don't know how much she knows about
Acheron would know if
I
you
mean,
didn't,
if you
so.
spend time in the capital and around
Yeah,
the central
let's say
area
she
of
does
Oldwood,
really should.
yeah, you know, like it's
some
flags from the castle that you visited, flapped
Mm-hmm.
the Lysander dawn.
So there are people who are helping out the royal family that were originally here that got kicked out by the count and countess.
Kicked out. King got fucking murdered.
Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Did they ever find a body? My memory of all the details of this is starting to run out.
There was no body returned, but
No body.
I mean,
So he could still be fucking alive.
They
right?
found the remains of his entourage and his wagon
Yes.
in the mountain
but not
pass,
him.
Well, not him.
but not the body.
Yeah, so he's fucking alive. This dude's fucking alive.
Whoa there.
You don't see them die in the movie, they ain't fucking dead. They pan to black, then they're still alive.
Vampires.
Are you high?
I mean, why not?
Just the ambient smoke.
You know, why not?
Well,
That's
okay.
basic.
After learning,
What body was found?
After thinking about the king is not dead, a bunch of conspiracy theories, soul crystals, and dead people, the dawn of Lysander, and all of that, let's go for a short but late break. Come back.
Sounds good.
I don't know what to
Ready
make
to
of this
play.
thing.
Half an
I don't know if
hour,
I'm meant to look
45
for
minutes.
this
No, you know what?
symbol
No,
or...
listen, out of character, this is now like a crack theory I will hold dearly in my heart as I, in the future watch from the audience being like, please be right, please be right.
Isn't this like classic though? It's like if their body isn't found,
Yes.
then the person ends up coming back
It's like,
being
yeah,
alive
it's Chekhov's
later.
gun. It's like Chekhov's gun.
Right.
It's a whole thing. But it's just funny if you be like, so he's alive.
This bitch alive. Okay.
All right, refill our glasses. Go to the toilet, pet our pets, and come back ready for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. Okay. I'm gonna go refill my glass. I'll be back. I'll be back. All right, I am back.
Ég bara meir fitt, sætari pabbi.
I want to thank once again the raid by Late to the Show Entertainment. Thank you so much. You're already gone, but still appreciate it. Thank you.
I have horrible news for you.
Oh no! What?
I've just been emailed by the local people that our internet's getting shut off for an hour at 6, which is in an hour.
Oh, okay. So I need to finish this up within an hour.
I am so sorry. They're working on like the freaking internet lines.
Okay, well, I was planning on doing 30 to 45 minutes anymore, you know, longer
I just
anyway
wanted
because
you
we're
to
late.
know.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm problematic.
It's a certain point where I want to come to, so let's see like what happens like after the last session next week. We might be able to like squeeze in more opportunities to like roleplay.
Yeah,
to just
no
get
worries.
to that point.
I wanted, you know, for today. That
Thank you. I love this gift that Adrian has put on.
Yeah.
Like
Freaking nice.
confusion all around.
I have my finger open on this. What's up with the terrible luck today?
Wait, they picked Marc? What the fuck is wrong with these people?
How are you doing, Bexxy?
Eating a carrot.
That's so valid, damn.
I had to struggle a little bit with like thoughts of failure of not like finishing the campaign.
No.
But honestly, I really need a little bit of a break.
Yeah, and besides, you're not ending it. You're just
Yes.
taking a break.
I am so excited to be able to play something where I don't need to know everything that is going on all the time. And know the
Yeah, it'll be
names of
good.
ships.
This way.
That's
I can be
so
the one
fair.
to ask the annoying questions. Roar.
That's so fair, fam.
Yeah.
Be good.
I am still searching for a job. I'm still sad that I haven't gotten any emails back. Like I started like the interview process with some people, but probably went on because I have like a non-traditional kind of CV, and often like those who have
Yeah.
more traditional paths get the job because it feels more secure for the companies. Even though I
Oh, I
might be
get
a
that.
star and I just need someone to pick me up. Ah!
See, I feel that.
I just like need somebody to pick me up and believe in me, and I would like give them 120 of what I am. Just give me a fair shake.
It don't count for shit in the job market, but I believe in you.
Thank you. I did
For what it's worth.
did search for IKEA, which is a little bit funny. Maybe I can work myself up in the IKEA hierarchy. That would be fun, actually. I like how
Yeah.
like IKEA has some serious sustainability ambitions and projects and initiatives.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to like be interested in, like looking into.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bachelor degree in environmental science.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that before.
Indeed. That I haven't done anything with. Ah!
Which that's so fair.
The stress. No, I mean, it has been feeling good to get, you know, some salaries now since I'm working part-time, and Joey is now breaking off to do, finally finish his studies, so, you know, all in all, it feels hopeful. Hopeful. Which is nice.
Well, that's good.
I also put some boundaries at work, so it makes things easier. I was kind of dying before because my body can't handle it, but now I have told my boss that I only want to open, I don't want to close, and I don't want to have like the
Boundaries are good for that.
And like after that change, things got way easier. Pretty happy.
That's good. Glad to hear.
Yeah. It's very nice. Gonna celebrate Yoi's birthday for the second time tomorrow with some another group of friends. And
That's
then
fun.
we're gonna have a crawfish party in 2 weeks' time with my dad when he has his birthday, and I'm gonna celebrate Yoi on that side of the family a third time. Like put it together.
Heck
That'd be
yeah.
nice. And me and Yobi, we bought what I like to call Dead Redemption DOS
Eh.
on sale. So I'm been couch gaming that, and it's been really cute, wholesome, and cozy.
That
We,
sounds really awesome.
played through the whole, you know, the first one, and we played Hades,
Oh, that's a good game.
Borderlands, a bunch of stuff. I assume that you enjoy Hades because I can see how the art is very up your alley.
God, the art's so good.
Yeah.
Hades is really good. Actually, Lynn introduced me to Hades, and I hope she can hear right now because Lynn has really good game suggestions and loves that whole studio. Yeah, I did some Hades because I watched playthroughs and I played some of it. Really good. I suck at the game. Like,
Talking about Supergiant?
Supergiant.
Technically, as far
Play
as
Pyre.
skill
It's the
goes,
best.
I suck. But Damn, if that art and music ain't fucking awesome.
Playthrough Transistor, so good.
Fire
And I love the fucking thing. Yeah, that was a good one. What's the Transistor's the one you got me to?
That storyline is like,
I got the Super Giant bundle like November of 2020 when it was on sale, and they're like 4 of my favorite games of all time now.
Transistor's really fun to play with synesthesia. Like, to be completely honest, it's a
Ooh,
wild
I'll bet.
time. It's such a fun game with that. I get
Mhm.
extra effects from the game.
You get extra dopamine from the brilliant sound design.
oh, actually,
It's so
by the
good.
way, Aspen, if I may ask, I would love that you continue doing like art. Like, if you have started art projects, I would like you to try it. I want myself as a marionette master.
I am still working on that. Is going to be like my magnum opus of the year once I finish it. I am working on that one secretly in the background,
Good.
and as soon as I
I
finish
will
it, I
love
will
it
send it. I
so
promise.
much. I
Yeah,
still,
I'll still follow.
I still
Don't worry.
love the emote, the sheer emote that I have every time. Every time I
I'll
use it, I'm
do
like,
another
oh,
one."
thank you. Also, please send a message in Roll20 when there's like 10 minutes left until you have to go.
Yeah, I will do that for sure. And then after that point, if I randomly disappear, apologies. It wasn't
Yeah,
my
no, that is
choice.
not your fault. That is my fault. There's a scheduled internet drop. For
Yeah, it's actually supposed to be earlier, but then they pushed it back a few
Oh,
hours.
that's
So
really good news. We'd be sad if it was like 2 hours ago. Anyway, okay,
oh,
let's continue. Okay, so we're sitting in the cozy tavern, empty tavern kind of area, the pub area, an empty bar, empty tables, just a few candles and lanterns, and the cozy sound of thunder and the pelting rain. Whilst you've had some conspiracy theories, some major realizations, is there anything else we want to discuss before bed, or should we push ahead?
Okay. I have something important to share at this point where we are.
With Bogdana, or do you want Bogdana to leave?
Yes. I just wanted to be us three.
Us four, okay.
What am I leaving
Yeah.
too?
No, I mean extra. You three.
Okay, I should.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted to be you three, not us three. Sorry.
Bogdana sighs and gets up and says, I can take a hint. I see. No use for old ladies.
Sorry.
And you should
The
be.
child with you. Protect him.
He needs a lot of protecting.
Yeah.
This is over my head. Like,
That's
he
our
needs some.
boy.
He needs some major guidance. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be a good influence on him.
Yeah, we'll make a killer of him yet.
Killer
Damn.
Shaw, maybe? That would be better, but okay. Good night. And she kind of saunters off, just leaving her smoke behind.
Are we sleeping here? I think we shouldn't sleep here. I think we should leave and sleep somewhere else.
You have gotten rooms, but it's up to you. But right
No,
now,
I don't want to sleep here.
right now it's like still like dinner time after dusk. It's completely empty. You have the whole facility for yourself. What do you want to talk about?
So, first of all, I don't know what this quite means about it's the arms of the original royal family. You don't mean like the original count and countess of here. You mean like the queen that currently is sitting.
Yeah,
Right.
Queen Minerva.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, at least that's allies, because they obviously really don't like anything that the Ravenmoors are doing, and also want us to get in there. So, that's a good place to start looking. I don't know what to do with this. Whether I should be looking for some kind of sign. It says seek signs of the dawn, so I guess wait till dawn. But you know,
Or
when
symbols of the dawn.
yeah, that kind of
symbols
thing.
the house.
Suns, etc. I don't know. I think that might be a bit conspicuous because Rian's all about suns and etc. But it's worth looking out for. But now that we're getting to a point where we're willing to make contracts that sign us off for years at a time in order to be protected, etc. What you said before, Tia, about us not having allies is not entirely true. And the allies I have may be a way we can get into...
One moment.
Everyone's gonna be like, are you talking about the bleeding old woman from the inn?
That is
Back up.
one.
Okay.
The allies that I have are a way that we could get into the castle without having to storm a castle that is difficult to storm. It's an option. Maybe these people, waves around the thing, will be able to give us another way. But I belong to a group, and I haven't been able to share this with you before now because the only reason this group survives is because we are very good at keeping it a secret from the church. And I had to know that I could trust you all because I've been keeping it for 10 years. So this is why I'm saying it now, because before we start selling our lives away for allies, we have some already that may be able to help us in this and in the future, and a safe place we can go after the dust has settled here on whatever happens here. I know that from what Akaran has said that there's no life for us back in the other side of the mountains, at least wherever, especially not in Oldwood, but maybe even in places where the church is strong. But the group I'm a part of, it's called the Seas Embrace. It's a group based in Nodenzia that believes in freedom of belief, the freedom to choose who you worship or don't worship at all, and wants to fight against the tyranny and monopoly of the church, and has been doing so from the inside for a long time. We aren't necessarily huge or powerful. Part of the reason why we are able to survive this long with inside literally the church is because we often don't know who each other are. But there is obviously those who do know where different agents, if you wish to call them, are at any one time, and you've met one, yes, the old lady with bleeding out. Obviously, again, we're not like the church in that we don't have very intense training that makes us extremely efficient in all things. We sometimes just have to make do with what we have, but it's just, I think now is an important time for you all to know that there's somewhere safe that you can go after this. And the Ravenmoors did know of the Seas Embrace and have reached out to us requesting alliance before, and so far we haven't answered, but I could come saying I am an emissary to discuss negotiations of such an alliance in light of this new finding that they have.
Many
Well, secret.
options.
Sorry, you both spoke at the same time.
No, Titania just kind of whispered, many options then.
I said that's a hell of a secret, but Akron, and I was about to say Akron's looking at Aaron to see how upset this news has made him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have the best expression on his face.
Akron was anticipating grumpy Aaron face after this reveal.
And
Just
when
kind
I
of-
say it's a safe place for all of us, I mean you too. We want everyone to be free. I told you this before. We don't want to use you. We want you to live as you wish. Be able to connect back to your deity if you wish to do so. That's what I've been doing all this time. It's trying to find out the secrets that the church has been keeping from us all. So that we can actually live freely.
And for you then? So this is a mostly civilian organization.
Yes, Bex?
I think at this point, like, Aaron's just gonna be like a little bit over the top, and he's just gonna stand up, stare Ginevra in the face, and just go outside. I think
Okay.
that's what he would do.
It's mostly civilian, yes, but like we kind of. It's not like you have an army, but it's not like you're ready to be, do dirty things. So,
Mostly just people.
Mhm.
And
I mean, I was able to keep it a secret from you all these years. So, I guess that's as good as
well,
we
just
get.
you don't sound particularly violent, so I'm not sure what place I'd have somewhere like that.
It's not about you having to work for us or anything like that. It's just that, it's somewhere that isn't looking out for the church to tell on people who go against them. And if you wanted, you could contribute through however you think you can. You are more than just a blade, Acheron. You have a lot of knowledge beyond that of espionage, etc. Far more than I do. I learned probably a lot of what I did actually from watching you. But that's just if you want to. I'm just posing it as a safe haven option and a way for us to get in to the fort without having to try and storm it.
I do like that option.
I think Akron's gonna shrug and give like a I'll think about it and then go check on Air. So you guys can.
He's not far. He's like just on the outside of the door. He's like still able to hear. He's just staring out into the rain.
Yeah, gonna come over, like lean against the wall next to you and be like, I'd offer you drugs, but I think Bogdana has all of them.
Why do you think I need drugs, Acheron?
Doesn't everyone need drugs? I think it's customary from watching people. People tend to like share things in times like these. Go outside, stand next to each other, smoke, drink, something like that. I don't know why.
What times are these?
for such an occasion?
I guess that's a good question. I don't know. Like when people storm off or something. Not really storming, but I don't really know. It's just something I see people do sometimes. I don't really get it.
Ginevra's choices constantly frustrate me.
Why is that?
The fact that she was an undercover agent, so to speak, of someone trying to get close to the church for, well, understanding their secrets so that they could live in blissful unawareness. And to constantly have challenged her for being on the side of an organization that just, even if it wasn't directly opposing us or me, it was still something that she kept from us. She's on a strange path, and it took a lot in me to accept her. In the mountains, we had difficult conversations that I had to understand, at the same time as causing pain to me. I know I can't do what I need to do alone, but it hurts a lot to be constantly lied to.
I guess that's fair. It's... From my perspective, Ginevra's always been a traitor. When we first became friends, we were on the same side, so I guess technically I was the traitor first, but one of us has always been the liar. I guess I just always thought it was me. That doesn't... That's to say... Your pain doesn't have to not matter just because Ginevra's on our side. You're allowed to be hurt. And you're allowed to not trust her. You don't have to trust your friends.
Isn't that what friendship is, Akron?
No. Friendship is more about what you're willing to do in spite of the trouble, not because of it or because of a lack of it. Some of the people I consider myself closest to now, some of the people that Titania and I left behind in Malgrave, I don't think I necessarily trust them, and I don't think they necessarily trust me entirely. But they took me in and they helped me. I don't trust Titania half the time, not to wander into something she shouldn't have, say something that shouldn't have been said, or something like that. But I know that she'd do anything for me, even bad things. I haven't trusted Ginevra since I left the church and encountered her again. But I believe her when she says that she wants to help. None of that erases any of the pain that I've suffered along this journey. Titania's good intentions and willingness to help me doesn't erase what I've done for her, and what I probably will do. Maybe you should express this feeling to her, or something. It's what people do, right? Akron will offer you it's a bag. It's just a bag of rocks. It's like there's a whole bag of them.
A bag of emoji rocks?
Yeah, it's the emoji rock bag, and Akron will offer you the bag to pick your emotion.
It's so cute.
I'm not sure I fully trust you, if that makes sense. I think there are things that you don't think are important that I would think are important that you haven't told me. But I remember what we said to each other. And I believe that you meant it. So.
I'm not good at not being honest.
I've
I don't-
noticed.
It wasn't a thing for me. It wasn't a thing for my people. This idea of subversion is still very foreign, and secrets within secrets just for the sake of subversion, when everything could be a lot easier if you said things plainly. Maybe I'm just not used to this human ideology yet.
Doesn't make much sense to me either. I mean, I don't think I'm that good of a liar. I'm a hider, I guess. But
You're a victim, Acheron.
I suppose it's true.
But you don't have to be.
Some part of me always will be.
And
I think
that
it's more about
part of you can stay there. The road you walk now, Acheron, is vastly different from when we began. The church is after us. What else is new? But you don't have to hold that burden in your shoulders.
Acheron smiles, like a genuine one, not like it has like a sense of calm to it, just like a real serene smile that perhaps doesn't seem to like fit the topic, but it looks at it tonight, just takes a deep breath and lets it out and just says, I think you misunderstand. I'm finally free. Finally. I'm not just in this horrible limbo of waiting, locked in a place where I am the only one who doesn't belong. Sure, part of me is a victim and I don't have to be anymore. But now that we're finally at war with the church for real, I don't have to worry about when they're coming because I know they are. And I know what to do about that. This is the easiest I've been able to breathe in years. There's a peace and purpose. Maybe not, and a comfort to it, to me at least, which probably doesn't sound very... I know that probably doesn't sound good to people on the outside, but to me, this is the most sense, the most guidance I've had in years.
I'm happy for you, Acheron, if that's the case. It is the correct feeling that you should be feeling if that is what you feel. There is nothing more relaxing if you are free. Knowing where your place is. Knowing who matters around you. I hope you keep that for as long as you can.
You're not alone, Aaron. I think maybe, have you ever considered that maybe Ginevra's betrayal hurts because she matters?
Of course she matters. It's why it hurts the most.
Acheron will dig into the bag of rocks and pull out one with a sad face. Like, gently place it in his hand. Has like a little tear on it and everything. And
My
we'll
heart.
be like, well done.
So much.
If words are hard, maybe this is a place to start.
Aaron looks at the rock in his hand.
I wish you knew Elvish, Acheron. It's a language that was spoken by a different kind of people. It's very melodic. Sometimes be misconstrued for singing.
Teach me.
I'm not good
Sorry.
with words in this language so much. I believe I can express myself without rocks, but I appreciate the sentiment.
I think the important... Acheron kind of looks at the bag of rocks and is like, I know it's silly. The rocks aren't the important part of this. The rocks are just a vehicle for communication. When I first escaped, you can imagine that I wasn't good, but to say that my social skills have improved 100-fold is not an exaggeration, which is horrifying. I know I suck at talking to people. I am quite literally some kind of monster, and it shows. And one of the people who took me in, who was helping Titania, Hector, knew it, wanted to find a way to help me. I couldn't express myself. I didn't know how. The words weren't the important part. The feeling was, is what he said. And so I picked something that would allow me to express my feelings, whether or not I had the words. You don't need the rocks, but if Elvish is the easiest way for you to express your hurt, have you tried? Maybe she doesn't need the words. Maybe your pain will be enough. And if you don't want to express it, I can hold it for you. I can hold space for your pain until you're ready.
Aaron does a half smile as he looks down to the rock in his hand. I'd like that, Acheron. And hands the rock to them.
Acheron will take the rock and not put it back in the bag. Acheron will, I guess, like a symbolic thing, will just put like the rock in like a different like front pocket where it's like safe and alone.
Welp, that was very wholesome.
My heart.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Um,
It's always you too.
I kind of
Coming right from my
want to move ahead in time, but is there anything extremely important that Titania and Ginevra want to say to each other as you sit there and wait for Acheron?
I don't know. See, like, this is probably something we could save for next session, but I think Titania would be like, "Are you willing to talk more about the seasoned race, please?" Would just be like, flip to a few open pages.
Yeah, and
Let me play the scribe.
I think she would be like, I've wanted to tell you from, the first moment that we were talking on the horses and you were telling me all about how, you wanted freedom of all of this and your research. Like, I always felt that was, you were exactly, we were kin in that. But for my friends and for the whole point that are even here, I had to be sure.
Fully understand.
But hopefully you won't have to just take my words, you'll be able to see it for yourself and get to know more about us in person.
Indeed.
I think that we probably shouldn't sleep in this place. I think we should go. I think we should camp somewhere away.
Yeah.
I don't want to stay here when they come back.
Yeah.
Except that I do need to look out for signs of the dawn. Fuck.
Maybe they're not here. Maybe they're in Alderhold. I don't know. I think.
Yeah. Maybe as we're leaving, I'll look for signs.
Yeah. I mean, Aaron can see in the dark. Maybe ask him.
Maybe we can stay for one night. I don't know.
Not our job.
Maybe we'll
The
find
king's
something
already.
allies.
Listen, fuck the king.
No, these are our allies. We need them.
I mean, hey,
But
and
they're
like,
not. They're
and the
your
sun
allies.
and the sun rises in the east, and we're heading east. So I don't know. There could
Okay,
be some
that's good.
dawn thing there.
Also,
Yeah.
they ain't our allies. They're the church's allies, and the church is our enemy, making them our enemies.
But they are enemies of the
Actually.
Raven Moors, so they are
So there's
our allies at no
two-
point.
There's
I think we can move forward as they like Vicky, but I think we are gonna not sleep here
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna speed ahead.
I will be looking for signs of the dawn as we move around in whatever degree I can.
You don't find any signs of the
I'm not
dawn.
ignoring this quest line. Bexxy. No.
It's fine if you ignore it. Somebody could be sad, but it's
I
fine.
don't want to ignore it.
I mean, okay, there's several paths here to take. Like, a lot of different factions, a lot of different things that they want. It's up to you how you want to navigate them and get what you want out of them. But
Does this one require me to stay here?
no.
Okay, then cool, let's
all
go.
the political tension and power play is in Alderhold.
Right, okay, great.
Indeed.
Let's go to Aldo.
Woo! Okay, so you depart the tavern, like, just when you're about to sleep, basically. Bunker down for the night. Not feeling particularly safe there. Dennis complains a little bit, but he comes with you.
Valid.
He also voices a wish that maybe this could be a place for him to stay. They seem pretty nice here. Maybe he would be
the
safe
suicide
here.
cult
The
village?
suicide call.
Yeah, I
He
would-
doesn't
we
know
would really
anything
remind
about
him.
that.
Oh, I'll tell
That's
him.
not- that's
Acheron
not
will tell
Dennis.
him.
Yeah. Yeah. We
Acheron
need to.
just tells him flatly.
We're gonna give Bogdana and Dennis the full rundown of everything we found.
Yeah.
They're probably eating people.
He becomes very sad about learning this. Like, he thought that these guys were very, very nice, and he loses 5
They are
points
really
in
nice,
faith in
but they
humanity.
also want to die.
You can see in the
Don't we
face of Dennis that he loses faith in humanity. Becomes
Yeah.
slightly more jaded.
Oh no, that's bad. Acheron will reach into the bag and will pull out the it's
God.
Acheron doesn't have the sad rock left because that's Aaron's, and Acheron has to hold on to that. But Acheron will look for a suitable replacement and finds the mad rock.
Shrugging rock.
The shrug rock.
Yeah.
Argon gives Dennis the mad rock and just goes, here.
It'll make you feel
Candy,
better.
but
What is this? What?
It's a way to show
Thanks?
your emotions.
It is? Should I
Yeah.
be all this? I haven't been. Nobody has told me. What?
Listen, when you're tortured as a child, you don't develop emotions correctly, so I have to use rocks. I'm just trying to help out. Akron suddenly looks like very awkward about the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
You could throw it if it'll make you
he
feel
picks
better.
up he picks up a rock from like the ground and he puts the two rocks beside each other and it says, "This is the sign of the two rocks hugging each other."
That's so fucking cute. Jesus Christ.
And he looks to you like, "Am I doing this
like
right?"
6 years old.
Well, like, he's treating Acheron right now like she's 6 years
Yeah,
old.
Acheron will give,
Oh, right, he's
Acheron will
teaching
give
her.
a nod of approval, but actually no, Acheron will look to Titania like, is this right?
Titania would be like, I don't think that's part of the system we made, but we can make it work.
I wasn't aware the rocks needed friends. This seems more complicated. I tried. This is not worth
I mean,
it.
that's if it's actually, you know what? If two people like have the same problem and need two people this, that's actually, you know what? We can talk this over later when we're not actively fleeing from a suicide cult.
Okay, anyway,
Thank you.
anyway.
Sorry, Bexxy. I did not expect it to go like that.
No, it's okay. It's okay, Dennis. Dennis looks very confused, but seems to have done something
So
right
valid.
from what he said. But you make up, camp, and you, like, half an hour outside of the village, and you bunker down for the night. I assume that you have watches.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Aaron, what's your passive perception? Again? Rip.
14.
14. Okay. Akron, make me a stealth check. With dexterity.
Okay, 1 second.
What you doing?
That's a good question. There it is. Yeah, what? You know, that is a lovely question.
Did you roll?
I don't know.
I'm doing it now. 24.
Ooh, okay. Anyway, you have your watches, but everything is like dark and quiet. You don't hear anything during this night. You have walked too far away to hear anything kind of residual noises coming from Sperea, and a little bit too far away from like the urban area of Alderholt to be that like in the thick of things. So yeah, a calm night. And you guys wake up to another lovely day. During the night,
Head.
the
Love those premonition rolls.
Oh yeah, nice.
during the night, the rain comes to a gentle stop. Beep, 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 beep. And you pick up your things and you continue traveling in the morning, heading generally to the east. The landscape continues to flatten and become more and more hospitable, and there are some attempts of agriculture. I say attempts because it seems to be a very thankless job. There's no deep soil, tranquil winds, abundant sunshine, and favorable climate, like there is in the fertile gardens of Kofmir. Here, everything is quite opposite. The ground is rocky and thin, the sunshine limited, and the wind relentless. Only the hardiest of crops grow here, and if they do, they grow thin and small. But today there is strangely very little wind around. It feels a little bit ominous, like something is holding its breath as you approach Alderholt City. The weather is like different shades of gray, like a gentle blanket that envelops the sky above you. And as you continue on your journey, there's more signs of civilization. Hamlets and villages surrounding these meager agricultural pursuits and larger facilities for sheep flocks and different manors. And today you end up walking most of the time on smaller footpaths the surrounding villages have created for themselves. There are signs of worry, however. Perhaps every 10th homestead or so seems to be ransacked, burned, and / or abandoned. And the people you meet on the road give you less than welcoming stares. At one point you are disturbed by a traveling salesman dressed in fine linens with a less than impressive bodyguard over their shoulder, and he is selling red health potions. With one look from Titania, she can tell that it's all quite fake, but the salesman doesn't give up that easily. But after a half-threatening comment from Erin with a double entendre and a snarky one from Acheron, he simpers off to lure somebody else. You are approaching lunchtime by now, and with it, from looking at the map, Alderholt is close at hand. Is there any plans you want to make before you approach?
Yes, it's likely Aaron will use disguise self.
Okay.
Before, if we're entering Alderholt.
You find like a crag somewhere, turned into a hag.
No. No, he would be like. He will bring the look of an old colleague, an old comrade in arms from the wolves. Someone who is who fell. Just like a general guy. He's
little
fairly,
rough
like,
around the
middle-aged.
edges.
Fairly middle-aged with, like, a sandy gray beard with a bit of flecks of white in there, sandy colored hair, and plenty of wrinkles around the eyes. Like he's been a farmer by trade.
Okay. Live that hard life. Okay. Anything else?
Oh, we will just won't be like too terribly scrutinized at the gates.
Yeah. So are we just heading in as random travelers that want to join, or are we going in as you being a miracle brewer, or are we going in as emissaries of the group? Or
I'm just going in.
what if they don't want us to just go in? What if we need a reason?
If they...
I'm not sure it's that kind of town.
They don't want us
It's the
there. We
Ravenmoor
just...
seat. If it's going to be anywhere, it'll be there.
I don't believe that castle is inside the walls of Alderholt.
Well, it might not be, but it would just be good to know.
And we bribe
Our
them if
stories.
they don't want us there. They like money, and we have some.
How much money do we have?
How much money do you have?
Well, we have the agent's money.
We have actually
That's
quite a bit of money. We have 220 gold,
That's pretty good.
plus the other stuff that maybe are in the character sheets.
And is the plan when we get there to look for these signs of the dawn, see if we can find these people? I know that you were talking about finding a dissatisfied underbelly, those who still remain. I think this is those people.
Certainly a lead.
See, I like our two options, but I feel like being like, oh, we have a miracle brewer with us, tell the Raven Wars will get us like an immediate appointment without time to explore or plan.
Yeah.
And I think the emissary thing might do the same. And I feel like the guards probably don't even know what the Seed's embrace means.
Yeah.
So I feel like both of those options will screw us over in some way.
I mean, like Acheron said, we can just bribe our way in probably with that amount of money. But I mean, once we get inside, is our plan to look for these people to see if we can get more help in getting in? At least know what our options are, more details. And if we don't like that option, then we can go up and say, Sea's embrace.
My opinion, when we're entering a new town, new city, it makes little difference if you have a plan before you get there. A lot of things tend to reveal themselves when you're there. So I would suggest that whilst both of those opportunities could yield results, let's play our cards close to our chest and see what reveals in front of us.
I'm always down to improvise.
Okay. With those words, you continue traveling like another half an hour. The roads that you go on, the footpaths becomes more and more traversed and populated, and soon in the early afternoon, the halt is first heralded by the smell of the sea. Then the view of a stone castle sitting on top of a hill. Then a smaller hill beside it with a stone fort, and then as you round another gentle hill, you see the walls of the city before you.
Ginevra audibly breathes in the sea air and cannot hold back a grin.
So, Celia is where Celia's at, is kind of where you at. As a representation of the... of the party.
It's a big wall.
And you see clusters of houses surround the major arteries and veins outside the walls, and far to your left you can hint the shimmering dark blue of the sea. A certain kind of joy indeed swells in Ginevra's chest. There seems to be two major gates ahead. And with that, we're going to end tonight's episode of Asia's Return. Woo!
We don't even have to go in the town at all.
Woo.